Good morning. It is really early. It's like 5:30 in the morning. Wonderful time to do a show. Wonderful time. I enjoy this time getting up early like this and doing it. Later, it just becomes okay, well, the day just goes on and progresses. But early morning is a good time. I love early morning. I was using those headphones and I find there's an echoey sound in them that makes it very hard to talk. They're wireless. Yes, they are. They're good. Don't get me wrong. And I need to combine them with some kind of studio with a mic of some sort. So I'm going to wait for that to set it up in my office. I know I come to you with my show every day in my garage, but this is how I like it. I love grassroots. I love right anywhere. It makes no difference. The message is important, not the messenger or the environment he's sitting in. So what I give you is a message. It's not something from me, but it is from me, but it's directly from God through me. Understand that? Okay. I found this little beautiful article again in the Unsearchable Riches because I love bringing this to you. And devotional studies in the Unsearchable Riches. Now, this is called Vessels for Honor. Has not the potter the right over the clay, out of the same kneading, to make one vessel indeed for honor and one for dishonor? Romans chapter 9, verse 21. There can surely be no greater blessing than to realize that we are vessels for honor. God singled us out to be instruments of value to him, not because we were among the worthy or wise, but that in his wisdom he chose us as vessels of mercy, a folk upon whom he should be making known the riches of his glory. And this is altogether of himself. We are the bearers of a distinction bestowed, not in any way attained, nor an award. Simply a conferment, purely of grace, and his high intention. And what is it, if not an entrance upon the deep and abiding experience of God himself, to know him in the vital things of life, to realize in countless ways his directive wisdom and beneficent will. We know not why, nor can we tell just how God's Spirit moved. Sorry, I was about to sneeze there, I think. Don't like that. Moved and prompted so that we were awakened to lifelong response. Left to ourselves, it would not have been. But God imparted his illumination, even the radiance of the evangel of the glory of Christ. He gave us experiences in which he demonstrated his power and his love. He confirmed again and again the truth of his word and strengthened conviction of its light-giving supremacy over all other literature. The honor to which we are called is unique. It stands apart from all the coveted honors of a passing world. Distinctive and personal, it is full of an interest no human power can devise. It lies in the fact of a great enlightenment. We are led to see, as it were, the moving hand of God, to perceive the peculiar circumstances of life, and how in us they occasion reactions, responses. Do we rise to them as we should? Are we learning our lessons from and in them? It is in the tangled circumstances of life that saints prove the wonder of God. They are definitely God conscious. God to them being as the presence in life. Did he not awaken them to a knowledge of himself? Has not God, the merciful, the pitying, taken from the many the few as vessels for honor? He has indeed, and it is for such to live in a more sensitive knowledge of it. Life is filled with occasions for this experience. What we need is a larger capacity, a full and unreserved capacity for recourse to God, going to him and depending on him for required wisdom and help. It is an exercise good for mind and body alike. It is being actually alive to God, keenly aware of his ability to serve our interests even hour by hour. Who is better able to act on our behalf? Is he not in command of all of this? Living in such a consciousness of God will give a settled composure, a feeling of detachment from all those things which excite and inflame the mind. We shall be imitators of God, forbearing and gracious as he is, perceiving with what grace his purpose is charged concerning all. And we have always to remember, a sonship is ours, no desire of the flesh or mind could possibly confer. As vessels for honor, it is that we should be filled full with Spirit. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. Now in drunkenness, the senses are so stupefied that a man is bereft of the use or exercise of them in a proper manner. He is not himself, but as filled full with Spirit, quote unquote, he is rather bereft of his carnal senses and all that issues from them. He is himself in the noblest conception of that self, being taken up with the things of high concernment. Thus filled, he or she is the better able to help others, and to utter the word in season, to weary ones in needful hour. See how Abraham was able to help Lot. He was in true possession of himself. He lived in detachment, with choice and issue that raised him above the meaner longings of Lot. It set him apart, but in what a splendid isolation. And God honored the stand he took by calling him Abraham, my friend. For Abraham was as a prince before God, undaunted and unappalled. Above all, the honor is ours of resting in God, unutterably worthy of our trust. His grace and glory, his will and good pleasure are so exalted, and so beneficent as to convey to our minds the purest and most precious, perfect satisfaction. So well pleased is he in the Son of his love that has committed to him a charge fraught with blessing to the whole of creation. Every inhabited sphere will be blessed in him. The great firstborn, in and through him will be fulfilled a wonderful foreknowledge and purpose, a design of benevolence for beings everywhere. And in such fulfillment God rests with supreme contentment. God in all the grace of his being is at once the center and circumference of life. He encircles in such an understanding way that we are never left to feel ourselves insignificant units lost in the crowd. With him, we are a host in ourselves. Think too of the quality of the evangel of the glory of Christ, its power and fragrance, and how many waiting hearts there are eager for the faithful announcement of such a God. As an ignorant African woman, after hearing for the first time God's pure evangel, remarked to her neighbor, "There, I always told you that there ought to be a God like that." Okay, I'm going to finish this tomorrow. It's a good start. So God's love is far greater in his choosing us as vessels of honor. We had no choice in that. God is the one that chose us. He's the one that called us. He is the one making. He is the one molding. He is the potter. We are his clay. So we are his vessels of honor. And that is awesome. Know it, believe it, because you stand in it in Christ. Those who are called to be vessels of dishonor will understand why they were made vessels of dishonor. They can't protest when they realize the full scope of God's plan in the whole of the eons. The end of this wicked eon is coming fast and swift. So we need to stand in Christ and realize our place as a vessel of honor. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day in the Lord.